need to buy some components additionally. And you can see that. That means why to buy from Kendu like people, Telerik people. You can see that. So these are the customers of Telerik. NASA is a customer of Telerik. Microsoft itself is a customer of Telerik. That means they provide software support for NASA and Microsoft like people. Then you can imagine the ability of this, right? So that means the point is they support libraries for them. So building UI for them. So we have to buy and use these. So they give more interactions, right? Because you saw that I am presenting something in a table. My table is a just bootstrap CSS table. But here, when we see this table, so here you can see we have data grids, data tables. When you see these tables and grids, you can see that this is an angular grid. And you can see that the grid looks like this. So that means the grid presentation, how it looks. That means it's a grid. You can see this grid. Suppose just like we are showing products information, here employees information. And pagination, like second page, third page. You have like filtering, sorting, all such options we can handle. If I have to design something like this, it will take time. So we just buy from them, and you can see export to Excel, export to PDF. For that, we need a lot of additional plugins to write a logic for exporting into PDF or Excel. So this is all very complex things, so which are simplified for us by using this third party, right? That's the reason companies buy them and we integrate and use them. This is all Kendu UI for Angular. This is for Angular. They have for every technologies. They have for every technologies you can use. So technically, service is nothing but a predefined business logic. So which provides a set of functions which you can inject into any application and use it. So reuse the functionality is the functionality. So now, how do we create the pipes? And in interviews, one question comes regularly. Factory is a collection of functions, and service is a collection of factories. Then in interviews question, I told you once, in interviews, the question is, why can't you use factories directly? Because you just want functions, and factory is a collection of functions. Why can't you use factories directly? I told you that point in the architecture. We cannot use factories directly because generally, when we are trying to use a factory directly, factory uses a single call mechanism. That means whenever a function is required, it creates an object. An object is created. So every time to access the function, we need an object. Service uses technically, service uses singleton pattern. That means object is created only once for the first request, and the same object will be used across number of requests. So that means an object is created for the first request and the same object is used for other requests. That's what actually singleton pattern. So if anyone asks why services to use, not the factories, because services represent a singleton mechanism. So that is the purpose of actually service. Now how to create service and inject service into our applications, just like CAPTCHA or some data services. So one simple example we will see. So that we will see tomorrow, right? So tomorrow we can finish this service concept, because remember, tomorrow we are just learning service and its purpose. Later, we will use service with another concept called HTTP client. And with that, we have to learn about server-side integration with middleware and database. Middleware and database. That part we will see later, right? HTTP client is a separate concept. So here we are first understanding what is service and purpose of service and how to create and use the service. After that, later we will see how to integrate with server-side technologies and use these services, like APIs and web services, how they are consumed and used, right? Here first we need to understand the service and functionality. That we'll see in tomorrow's session, how we can work with service. If we can finish services tomorrow, then we will go into another important concept, that is Angular forms. How do we work with forms and Angular routing? So these are the very major concepts for Angular now. So tomorrow we can continue with this, right? Right. We are uploading everything into GitHub, right, Mon? Are you new to the sessions? This is our GitHub repository, if you don't have that, right?